So everybody watching this video, I know you guys can probably agree with me that there's no better feeling than just showing up to the charts, right? Once you learn a strategy, once you learn how you can even make money, once you're funded, once you're on a live account and you've actually taken money out of the market, there's no better feeling than showing up every day at the possibility of making thousands of dollars, right? Catching a great move, a generational trade every once in a while. These possibilities are at our disposal, like every time we pull up to the market. But in this video, I wanted to cover how oftentimes these feelings end up causing us to lose. I lost $2,500 this morning on a trade that I placed overnight, and I woke up to gold just continuing the move. It just kept running up higher and higher with no room for any sells. And I was obviously looking for a target, and I, in some sense, married a bias because even though I knew that overall direction was bullish, I was looking for this target that it left below. It was a target that should have been taken out, but it kind of reminds me because I've had the same lesson like previously in the past, and it was just that even though a target exists below it, if it gets to that target, then you can catch a trade from it. But if the overall narrative is bullish, you shouldn't expect it to go to a bearish target. You should just wait, and if it does hit that target, then you get another opportunity, but otherwise you stick to the narrative. So in this video, I'm going to be going into a few psychological lessons and battles that, traders typically have, and battles that I go through oftentimes when I'm trading and I'm looking for these opportunities. I'm looking for these trades that aren't actually good for me. And today's was a great example of one. We had a no wick on the daily time frame, which is a pretty significant time frame. But we were so extremely bullish that we ended up leaving that behind. And pretty much on the way up, we just kept consolidating. And this made it even worse for me because it wasn't just moving towards buy side. Like if it was moving towards buy side, creating IFEGs and higher highs, I would have been cool with that. I probably would have switched my narrative after a trade or two. But the problem was that it was consolidating. And that brought me to believe that it was going to go to the target below. And I, in some sense, married that bias. I married the bias that it was going to go down because it wasn't going up. It was moving sideways. But one of the things that kind of like was a flawed approach from me was this week on Forex Factory, we had absolutely zero red folder news except for Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? So the move, it was obvious for me after I looked at the Forex Factory why today was moving and why yesterday was moving like sideways, was consolidating. And that's because whenever there's a high impact news event, typically the day before consolidates, right? So I came into the market yesterday expecting a trade, and there was a chance that maybe I would have gotten one and maybe I wouldn't have. But one of the things that I lacked in yesterday was I jumped in a little bit too early. I was a little impatient and I didn't consider the fact that, first of all, it's Monday, right? It's the start of the week. You don't want to be risking too much. Second of all, the news. I didn't actually do a full analysis. I usually do a full breakdown analysis, and I didn't do that. I didn't post a video this week on an analysis. And as much as like it may seem like I do these things for you guys, is also insanely helpful for me because I go through everything and I have it like locked in as to what I'm looking for, what the weekly targets are, where can I adapt, whether it's going to go up, down. If this happens, what do I look for? And that's what I was supposed to do this week, but I lacked in doing that. And so sometimes, guys, especially after last week, we had a major winning week. So coming into today and seeing this amount of buy side, not anticipating it, it did hurt a little bit. It hurt a little bit because it didn't give me what I was looking for. And it's not like I should have just turned around and started going for buys because that wouldn't have let me walk away with money yesterday. That wouldn't have at all. What would have allowed me to take a winning day yesterday is just not trading at all, is anticipating or checking Forex Factory, seeing, okay, Tuesday, it's the only news event of the week. So I'm sure that Monday will want to create some highs and lows for Tuesday to take out. And had I looked at Forex Factory, I would have definitely instinctually just known, okay, guys, it's probably not a good time to be trading because tomorrow is the only news event of the week. It's probably not going to be consolidating. The rest of the day is just going to expand in one direction. But Monday, at least, the least it can do for Tuesday, only news event. And had I been prepared for that, I would have definitely not taken any trades, or after like the first few trades, just hopped off for the day because it just wasn't a great opportunity to be trading to look for anything. And so as a trader, you guys have to recognize that even as you become more and more experienced, as you drop the journal, as you begin to just trade, your strategy. It's just ingrained in your mind, and you show up to the market every day, you're winning. After some time, you just grow so comfortable and so confident that you lose sight of the things that got you there. That oftentimes you grow comfortable in your lifestyle too. Like now that I've had more money, I've been able to become a lot more comfortable with my lifestyle, with the things that I'm doing. And that also has taken away from some of the other things that I would do every day that kept me disciplined, that kept me more in control of my emotions. Like, for example, the gym. Now, I'm really focused on honestly just like producing content, growing my social medias, getting better as a trader, stacking my allocation, my capital. And all this is my current priority. And I dropped one of the things, which was the gym. And I used to go to the gym every day, sometimes even 2 times a day. I would work out consistently every day. And those workouts, they kept me disciplined. Now that I'm just like literally just living at my own place, I can do whatever I want, right? And I decide whether I go to the gym, I decide where I go. And I've just constantly chose over and over again, because of what I'm currently doing, just to make videos or to sit around and watch something instead of going to the gym. And now I have to put more work into like journaling, or put more work into some other area. Because if you guys have ever seen that like GameCube, where it's like your stats, and it like leans it towards a specific direction. So like if you have more in strength or more in agility, then it like kind of balances out this like octagon, and it like pulls it towards a specific direction to show you which you're more dominant in. That's how it was, right? I was more dominant in the discipline field because of my workouts consistently every day. But now that I've kind of put that down and started focusing on like other things, and just literally choose to do other things in my day-to-day life, now in order to still perform at the same level that I did previously, what I have to do is I have to drag another field, whether it be patience, right? Now that I'm not as disciplined, I have to be more patient. I have to wait more, maybe more reserved. Because if you don't do that, if you don't realize that now that you're making money, now that you have more freedom, that you are leaning away from a lot of the things that got you to make money in the first place, you're making a big mistake. You have to acknowledge, you have to understand, and you have to adapt. So that's my lesson for you guys today. I hope you guys learned something new. I lost $2,500 today in the market, and we are going to make that back, but slowly, guys. Don't rush into it, especially like this is another thing. If you guys are rushing into making your money back the next day, you're like, fine, I'll take a break, because like people tell you to stop trading, right? You have your own rules. A lot of you guys do is you misinterpret that message as well. You're like, okay, I'm done trading for the day. It's not good for me to make it all back in one day. You come in tomorrow expecting to make it all back. Expectation is also a big enemy, because it's only going to cause you to get emotional when you don't make it back, when you take another loss. And the right thing to do is, once again, go look at Forex Factory, figure out like, oh, today's also not a good day to be trading. But instead of doing that, you're like, oh man, I'm actually disappointed in myself. I want to make this back. And you don't realize that if you just waited and came into the market tomorrow, you would have made it all back and some. But you didn't, and you ended up blowing your account. So once again, guys, just constantly reminder for you guys to do your weekly analysis, to understand what's going on, what are the market conditions, what's going on in the world. And stay on top of your game, guys. Balance everything out. Make sure that you are performing at your highest. Thank you guys for getting through this video. My name is Marky. If you enjoyed, you want to see more videos like this, drop a sub on this channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.